Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, we are live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. with a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember that, viewers. So Trinidad and Tobago, seems like the rainy season is here once more. Nevertheless. So as we go into our program tonight, viewers, the Minister of Former Education, Dr. Nian Gasby-Dolly, is disappointed to see the return of the recognition of top secondary entrance assessment performers. Gasby-Dolly said what she saw was Trinidad and Tobago. She thought it would cause a division. That is what Gasby-Dolly thought. Now, the top performers receive an award at the Ministry of Education, Port of Spain head office on July 4th from Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett. Dowlett said the list of 200 top performers will be published at a later date. Despite her disappointment, Gasby-Dolly said she was grateful that the exam was a successful administered. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. I'll tell you this. When a child does good, when a child exceeds, when a child performance is great, what do you do with them? You give them recognition. You give them an award. You motivate them to reach higher. That is what you do. You don't suppress them. You don't condemn them. You don't speak ill towards them. And I believe Gasby-Dolly, she maybe never had a recognition in her life other than being at a minister level. Who the Prime Minister, a former Prime Minister, Dr. Saieed Ali, placed there? She was probably recognized in a test or exam or high marks, things to motivate you. She probably never even got a motivative speech or the chance to motivate somebody. Or even herself maybe didn't get motivated when she was young. So I don't blame her for being disappointed. She don't know anything about recognition. It's only when the PNM won, Dr. Saieed Ali decided to say, you know what? We're going to put her as the Minister of Education. Sad, she nearly destroyed her whole portfolio. So do you know what motivation means? Do you know what recognition means? Do you know what it is to give your child an award? And just by giving that child that award, it will motivate them to go higher. Does Gasby-Dolly knows anything about that? It's sad. It's sad that you want to take away the recognition of these children and them who have been fighting hard, burning the midnight oil to make sure that they have a high mark. You know how nice and how wonderful those kids are feeling today? Being recognized in Trinidad and Tobago for performance. You know how nice that is? Gasby-Dolly, it's a sad thing, you maybe never had that. But you cannot deny or suppress an individual for doing good. You can't. The more you give them recognition, is the more they would want to climb higher and higher and higher. So my question is now, who was Gasby-Dolly before becoming the Minister of Education through the PNM government? Who was Gasby-Dolly? Where did Gasby-Dolly come from? It's sad, yes? But congratulations to the top performers, the 200 top performers of the SEA. Well done, kids. Well done. Call her good night.
Sorry, good night.
Go right ahead, your life.
This opposition PNM, this Perry Beckers and Faris Alwari, them people have no shame, Mr. Saieed. Look how much years them run this country and do nothing for this country. Only feed their friend, their family, and their nanan and who and who. Look at the condition them left this place in, and these people in CPEP doing like if they're so hungry and starving. The woman giving them a month money, and then they're trying to stamp out all the fraud, millions and billions in CPEP. And nobody, and that I was telling because when the divers and them went down with this they call Curriculum, and that one they call the Newman George, we never studied the people there or they live in the people children. These people really have no shame in them, Mr. Saieed. Now they're playing the fighting for CPEP. When CPEP, all the big boys squander all the money. Eh? Okay, Mr. Saieed.
Thank you, my dear. So moving on, viewers. Current affairs. That is what we're going into. Although Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar received heavy criticism for her absence in the 49th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Jamaica, she was not the only minister or the only leader to miss the attendance. Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister Sean Sobers and Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander led the country's delegation in Jamaica on Sunday. Sobers revealed the reason for the PM absence.
There are certain national issues that are currently engaging her attention, that requires her undivided attention, and she is in Trinidad treating with those issues. I mean, it follows a similar pattern with some other leaders who are not here. Nothing to be concerned about. And she has a competent team here with her that has been in constant contact with her since we left Trinidad.
Now, viewers, despite the fact that it would have been her first CARICOM meeting in her second term, former Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Amy Brown said the presence of both newly appointed ministers does not make up for her absence. This was Sean Sobers' response.
Minister Alexander and I are quite competent and capable of treating with all of the issues on the agenda for CARICOM heads. As Minister Brown would well be aware that those agendas would have been issued before, and so we would have been quite familiar with them, although they are updated almost on a regular basis. As it pertains to the dealing with us when we go to the meetings, I attended meetings today as the head of the delegation, and I was able to engage in the meeting in a fruitful way, and my comments were taken on board and recommendations taken on board.
So Trinidad and Tobago, meanwhile, Minister Alexander said he met with Jamaican National Security Minister. He also shared comments on any alleged resurgence on crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this.
We need to keep on the down low for now, because when I say down low, it's national security interest. And we want to take an approach where we want persons to see what we are doing, and we don't want to just speak about it. You need to treat with the institutions responsible for crime. Boost up those institutions. And I often go with this idea about, I have been speaking about it year after year after year. If the police control the streets, we will control crime. And remember that.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the CARICOM meeting ends on Tuesday in Montego Bay. The most important thing is that the Minister of Foreign Business and the Minister of Homeland Security is in Jamaica. That is the most important thing. So during the course of the day, they could meet any ministers, any heads of government in the CARICOM meeting. Sad It's sad. The former Minister of CARICOM Affairs didn't even think to attend. But you want to complain about the present one who have been installed for about 2 months. Sad, yes? But nevertheless, opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling out the United National Congress government for staying silent amid an alleged continued surge in violent crime. So I want to ask Penelope Beckles, where was Penelope for the last 10 years when her administration had a Minister of National Security for 9 years? Where were they? 2 months now, the UNC won election, give or take 2 months, and Penelope Beckles is already calling out the Prime Minister on the state of crime in Trinidad and Tobago. Penelope, I want you to do the maths. You are the former Minister of National Security. Do the maths. Compare 9 years to 2 months. 9 years to 2 months. Or 2 months to 9 years. Penelope, what does your former Minister of National Security have to say? What does he have to say? This is what I am asking you on national television. So you calling out the present Prime Minister about the state of violent crime in Trinidad and Tobago. But remember, the PNM administration was there for 9 years. So I know I'm calling on you now, Penelope Beckles, to ask your former Minister of National Security, what were you all doing? This is what I want to know. What were you all doing to protect the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Could you answer that, Penelope? You calling on Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I, together with the nation, is calling on you and your former minister, the PNM Minister of National Security, for 9 years. What you all did? Tell me what you all did. Compare 9 years to 2 months now in office. You know, it's stinking sad, you know. I feel like you just wake up from a coma. You was in a coma for 9 years. And apparently, like, you just woke up and that's it. Start to question everything. But you were the leading party for 9 years. The PNM administration governed Trinidad and Tobago for 9 years. Why don't you ask your former ministers? You know, if you come out and ask Kamala, or you come out and ask Homeland Security, well, what is all your plans for the next 6 months, or for the next 1 year, or for the next 2 years? What is all your rational plan to try and solve crime in Trinidad and Tobago? That would have been a better statement. That would have been a better statement. But you're calling out the government for staying silent on violent crime. It's sad. It's sad. It's stinking sad. If you're vexed, that's your problem. For the last 9 years, I was in Trinidad. Individuals had to leave the country because the crime was spiraling out of control. And for businessmen had to leave the country for the sake of their families. Where was Penelope? I want to ask you that. Raw video? Speaking at People's National Movement meeting in Shoguners on Saturday, Beckles recalled recent criminal incidents. Listen to this.
Just today in Sandy Grande, we heard about 5 people being shot. We heard about a woman being found in Shogunas in a drain. And every single day that you read the papers, it is crime, crime, crime. But you are not hearing a single thing from this government about what is their policies to do to deal with this situation as it relates to crime. Let us pay attention.
Penelope, you and your whole PNM team, I telling you, take a back seat and rock back for the next 6 months. Rock back for the next 6 months. Because in 9 years, you could not question the former Minister of National Security. You couldn't question him. That was your colleague. So I say rock back. I telling you on national television, rock back a little bit. She said the silence on calling out the UNC when it comes to crime in the country. Boy, I'll listen to this.
When the PNM was in office, any single thing happened about crime. Everything is the PNM, the PNM. What are you hearing about this escalation of crime under this UNC? Pay attention, my people. One of the most important things you are realizing, this government is very divisive. They are bullying the population and they are literally getting away with murder.
Is that Penelope? How we didn't hear those type of motivational speaking for the last 9 years? How we didn't hear that? How the hell we didn't hear that? Huh? Why she didn't question the former Minister of National Security in the PNM regime? Why she didn't tell him something? Oh, I forgot, you all was in power. Now you're out of power, I'll have the most to say. You forgot, Penelope Beckles, when Keith Rowley said, meet me on the pavement and we will deal with it. You forgot that. You forgot that. Being a prime minister in Trinidad and Tobago, that motivated gangsters and young youths who wants to be bad boys. Let me take it out on the pavement now and you can see who is me. Let me go on the pavement. Really? Imagine that, eh? A prime minister saying, meet me on the pavement, we will deal with it. That is leadership. But nevertheless, Penelope, describing the PM, the Prime Minister, alleged love for country, Beckles said, it is hypocritical. It follows the dismissal of workers from various sectors. Penelope, one more time.
Do you think she would have sent home almost 20,000 workers? Do you think she would have sent home the CPEP workers? Do you think she would have sent home the reforestation workers? Do you think she would have sent home the water management? Yes, love. That is not love. That is abuse.
Okay, Penelope, since you want to talk about abuse, let's talk about Marvin Gonzalez. Marvin said to the public, you take your children out one time for the month. They might throw tantrums at you. Because the finance minister is saying take 4% or nothing. We're talking about PNM regime, eh? Tongue and bird, 4% or nothing. Boom, SRC report. Boom, 40% increase for ministers. How you call that, Penelope? I want to hear something. How do you call that, Penelope Beckles? Abuse? Oh, I see. I see, Penelope. So, Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to tell you something. Consider CPEP contract. I'm going to wisen up on you a little bit. When Parliament dissolves, there is no cabinet. Listen carefully for those who do not know. When Parliament dissolves, there is no cabinet to approve nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So according to Barry, contracts were renewed the Friday before election, which was the Monday. So I want to ask Penelope now, on national television, if Parliament is dissolved, who signed off on contracts? Because the cabinet is not there to approve contracts. Can Penelope answer that? Could Faris answer that? Could Larry Lala answer that? I'm just asking a question. If the parliament dissolves in Trinidad and Tobago, there is no cabinet approval. And when there's no cabinet approval, there is no contracts. So I heard now that the CPEP contractor who decided to take CPEP to court, I heard when Anand Ramlokan hit them the letter, they pull back one time. Where you pull back for? If you're solid, where you pull back for? Huh? Where you pull back for? If you're solid and you carry CPEP to court and you legitimate, where you pull back for? We can bring you more in that story. We get some details on it. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, Moody Honor Award faces backlash. Well, we have a little bacchanal here, but after this.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So welcome to Real Talk viewers. So here it is, sir. The opposition is attacking the UNC-led government on its political hypocrisy, awarding India Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the Order of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago last week. Opposition leader Penelope Beckers explained that in 2021, when the Indian government donated 40,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine to Trinidad and Tobago under former Keith Rowley-led administration. However, she claimed Prasad Bisesa did not support or acknowledge the contribution at that time. Listen to this.
One of the first things they did in coming into office was to send home Dr. Paras-Ram. They were very upset that the PNM gave him the highest award. I sat in the parliament and I listened to Kamala Prasad Bisesa and at President's House say that one of the main reasons that she gave the Honorable Modi the highest order is because of the vaccines. No shame.
So because of the vaccine, well, the man donated 40,000 to Trinidad. That 40,000 vaccine helped individuals in Trinidad and Tobago. Almost 20,000 individuals got vaccine. So Trinidad and Tobago, since Penelope wants to talk, let's talk. When they went China, in order to get vaccine from China, remember the government of Trinidad and Tobago took a loan? I remember that. How many of you remember that? They took a loan from China to purchase vaccine. Remember, they can't get all the money in China, you know. They had to leave back a percentage of the money in China. India donated vaccine. We had to go to China to purchase vaccine. I remember that? How many of you remember that? Penelope wanted to talk, so I given you something to talk about. Beckles said it was ironic of the government to host Modi in the same location they earlier described as unfit. Listen to this.
Mr. Barry Padarath went to the diplomatic center. You remember what he said? It is unfit. Where did they take the Prime Minister of India? Are you paying attention? Not the same diplomatic center that was not functioning, that wasn't fit for the Honorable Prime Minister to go to.
To stay. To stay. Visits is okay. Not to stay. Wait, boy, I had to explain everything to all you. But nevertheless, we will explain. We will explain it. She also reminded supporters that while in opposition, Prasad Bisesa questioned the scenes behind COVID-19 safety measures, even taking the then government to a court. Penelope, step by step, I will explain to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Because it seems as you just wake up from a coma. I was here for the last 8 years. And the PNM administration was governing Trinidad and Tobago for 9 years. So I give Trinidad and Tobago a proper insight as to how, why, and when. Now that the UNC is in power, I will be here for the next 9 years plus to educate the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Penelope, that is something you can count on. Like I said, viewers, I am not UNC, I am not PNM, I am not PE, I am not aligned to any political party. So where you get it from Saieed? Is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Because of the fact that I am not aligned with any political party, I can give you the truth. I could give you the truth. Nevertheless, we move it along. People's National Movement Chairman Marvin Gonzalez have called on non-governmental organization, NGOs, to unite with his party to confront what he described as escalating social injustice. This after an alleged 20,000 public sector workers dismissed since the United National Congress assumed office.
I call upon all NGOs to come with the PNM, lock arms with the PNM, and let us fight, because over these 20,000 people, they are not only PNM members, many of them are UNC members, but many of them are also members of churches. They are members of mosques. They are members of temples. They are members of NGOs. They are members of all different social society groups in this country, and therefore it is their responsibility to come with the PNM and let us fight for these people, because it is their survival we are talking about.
So all of a sudden, Marvin Gonzalez know about fighting for the people. When he told the people, is it all you take 4% or all you take nothing? He get 40%. But what is interesting, Trinidad and Tobago, what is interesting is that Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, you see I still have a handle for the name, you know. Or I could just say Dr. Rowley, you know. He resigned from politics. Dr. Rowley, remember when you told the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to win off the government? How many of you remember that? The people according to Marvin were members of church, members of temple, members of mosque, members of NGOs. Marvin, you seem to forget very fast. You seem to forget very fast when Keith Rowley told the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, we know of the government. So now you comment, Marvin, to ask these same set of people, the people from the temple and the mosques and the NGOs and the temples, to do what? Lock hands with all you? Oh God, Marvin, come now, man. Come now, Marvin. All you told the people to win off the government. What does that say, Marvin? Marvin, yeah, I hear you as a lawyer. What does that say, Marvin? What does win off the government means, Marvin? Well, Marvin, if you forget, I, Saieed, live on Synergy Television, is here to remind you what your leader said. Win off the government. Now you're begging now. Oh God, I'll come and lock hands with me now. Let me beat the UNC now. Let me expose the UNC now. Marvin, you forget them was the same set of people. All they tell to win off the government. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program. And let me tell you something. If the citizens of this country has never seen the true colors of the PNM and the true PNM or in this country, I telling you, with all of these clips you highlighted, citizens of this country and more so the Indian community, you all wake up, look at the level of discrimination based on race. We have been highlighting this on Real Talk for years, and today they show their true colors. Take note of this. This is a serious thing, to the Indian community. If you all don't understand how serious this is, you all wake up, This is very serious, because this Prime Minister that visited this country, Prime Minister of India, he is a Prime Minister of a superpower nation. And this man visit this country. Look what he's bringing for us. They are the leaders in information technology. They are the pharmacy of the world. And he come here, and we should grab this opportunity to carry our country forward. That's what they come here to do, to have bilateral agreements and so on. And we must grab that. Everybody in this country, all its citizens must grab that to carry this country forward. But when you see what the PNM did, it is true and evident to show that they hate Indians. The evidence is here. That is what they did. That is what they did. They bring out CPAP workers to protest. This should have never happened. And the Prime Minister of India got the our highest award. And Ella Beckles, you criticize that. How the president of this country got that award? She deserved it. She aided and abetted in destroying this country. And you all give her that award, the highest award. She deserved that. Let me tell you something. Indians in this country wake up. We are at a very sad state in this country. PNM showed the true colors. And Mr. Said, you keep doing this great job you are doing, and this country going to fix, and citizens will understand and wake up in this country. Mr. Said, keep up the great work you're doing. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, listen to this. He also stated that the industrial court $4.3 million award to 13 former Tobago House of Assembly workers whose contract was terminated after the 2022 change of the administration, warning the government faces huge legal penalties. Listen to this.
What about the 13 THA workers who were also fired under similar circumstances when Fali Augustine came into power in THA? Just recently, the court awarded $4.3 million that you, the taxpayers, now have to pay to those 13 fired THA workers who were fired because they were only presumed to be members of the PNM. You can now multiply 4.3 million by 10,000 and 13,000 people who will now be going to the courts to fight for their rights and their due entitlement. You are talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in damages that this government will now have to pay innocent citizens and workers in this country because of spite, because of vindictiveness.
I want to ask Marvin if the UNC ministers did that. Marvin, you talk about taxes. Who pays taxes? The citizens. The increase that you got, the citizens have to fund it, Marvin. Don't try to mama guide the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Because if you try to mama guide them, I will tell them the truth. Your 40% increase, where it coming from? Taxpayers' money, Marvin. The same set of taxpayers you were told to carry out a churn one time for the month, while they had that 4% was rammed down their throat, while you willingly get 40% increase. Marvin, are you forgetting bad? Your brains are working out. Your brains are functioning, Marvin. Taxpayers had to contribute to the 4% that I forced them to take. And they're also contributing taxes to the 40% all they're getting increased salary. Marvin, if your brains are working good, mine working, Mine working damn good. But what is this? Gonzales, further call on the PNM to stay together to fight the wicked government. Marvin, hold on. Marvin, let me tell you something. For 9 years, the PNM run Trinidad and Tobago. For 2 months, the UNC has been the leader or the leading party in Trinidad and Tobago. How do you know them wicked? Marvin, how you know them wicked? You know what is wickedness? Telling me, Saeed, that you ought to take 4% or don't take nothing. telling me that side, you gotta carry out your child one time for the month, otherwise don't carry them. Forget the tantrum they're throwing. You know where's wickedness? The PNM administers, or the administration, collecting 30, 35, 40% increase, but telling the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, even the PNM people, all they tighten all their belts, and all of they clapping, yeah, they're doing good. Who belts had to tighten? The PNM people. Who had to carry out their child for the one time for the month? The PNM people. Citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, do not be stupid. I am not aligned to any political party, but I am telling you all, do not be stupid individuals. Those of you who marching for CPAP contract, or the UNC put all your out of work, all your home, here what I want all you to do. Go and ask all your contractors if they have proper documentation for their contract. That's all you have to ask all the people. Who put all you on the bread line? All your boss have proper documentation. Who got contracts? I heard one man get 7 million. I heard one man had no company registered, he getting contract. So the people who go in marching for contract, ask your boss if all their documents in order. That's all you have to do. That is all you have to do. Trying to we are going for a short commercial break. But when we come back, RHA board coming soon when we return.
We'll be right back.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Real Talk Financing is offering you 5% on a fixed deposit for 5 years and over with upfront interest. Contact our central office at 238-6716 or our San Fernando office at 242-9944. You don't want to miss this great opportunity. Invest today and watch your investment work for you.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Geological Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Geological Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, it had two Muslim groups in Trinidad that we could say condemn Kamala for bringing Moody to Trinidad and Tobago. To look at Moody's background, investigate the man. Everybody knows Saieed is a Muslim. Everybody knows Saieed don't condemn, but spread the truth on my program. So I want to ask these two organizations and the two individuals who told Kamala to investigate his background. Number one, when Moody visited Trinidad and Tobago, those two Muslim group asked Rowley to investigate Moody. India is a manufacturing company, pharmaceuticals, AI technology. India have some of the world's most brilliant heads. The most. They have over 30-something million people. We only have 1.4 million people, 1.5 million people, and we want people killing out here, right here. How come those groups ain't kick about that? How come those groups ain't kick about the cost of living? How come those groups ain't kick about the health in Trinidad and Tobago? How come those groups ain't kick about the school condition in Trinidad and Tobago? How come these groups then kick about the well-being of Trinidad and Tobago citizens? How come these groups ain't kick about the road condition, the water, the electricity, the internet? How do they kick against it? I am a Muslim. How did they kick against the 2,000 yam seed we get compared to 2,000 laptop? I am a Muslim. I am a Muslim. Everybody knows that. And who am I talking about? Two Muslim groups in Trinidad. Where were these two when Rowley, Kid Rowley, was with Moody right here in Trinidad? Where was those groups? Somebody say something. The correct thing is the correct thing. The correct thing could never be the wrong thing, and the wrong thing be the correct thing. Everybody afraid to question those two Muslim groups. I am Muslim and I asking them, where were they? Them afraid to talk, I ain't afraid to talk. Them dying for Allah. I know me as strapping no bomb. Because no part of the Quran says chop a bomb and run in a house. So you see Trinidad and Tobago, sometimes you just have to look, observe, gather information, and rock back. And when the right time reach, ask them questions. So what I did, I looked, I observed, I listened, I gathered my information. And tonight now, asking them everything I had to ask them. Well, lady, we ain't nothing again. Why didn't tell Rowley question Moody? Well, I get shut down in another place one time. Because Rowley would have tell all here, we're not relax on yourself. I don't want to hear about all you. Really? It's sad. It's stinking sad. But nevertheless, we're moving along. Minister of Health, Dr. Lakram Bodo, has confirmed that the long-awaited appointment for Regional Health Authority Board is imminent. Dr. Lakram stated that the board are essential to addressing the many infrastructural and operational challenges within RHAs. Listen to this.
The two number one concerns, and they were competing for number one spot, was crime and healthcare. So of course we have a mandate to fix healthcare. There are many problems to be fixed in the system. We've tackled a few, of course. We had promised about the Children's Life Fund, of course, looking after our little ones. We promised a review of CDAP, which we've accomplished. That report is now before the Cabinet. And going forward, I look forward to the appointment of the RHA boards. Those boards are very important in terms of the governance process as we try to deal within the RHAs themselves with the many infrastructural, staffing, and other issues within the RHAs.
So Trinidad and Tobago, from 2010 to 2015, the UNC administration was governing Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad prospered. They prospered. The people could speak for themselves on this. 2015 to April this year, PNM started to govern Trinidad and Tobago. And the people of the country changed them. Why? Why? Because they wanted that change. Now that the UNC is back in power, 2 months now. Like I said, I am not politically aligned with any political party. 8 years ago, I started my program independently without asking for help. 8 years up the road, look us here still. Speaking the correct thing, speaking the truth, standing up for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, pushing for laws, amendment, legislation. We got it passed. Some of you all need to take a back seat. Take a back seat, zip your mouth a little and just watch. That is why I ain't labeling nobody from the UNC as yet. As yet. All I am doing is, what the UNC is doing, I just question the opposition, which is the PNM. What all I did for the time all I was there? What you did, tell me. Ask Penelope what the Minister of National Security did for 9 years in Trinidad and Tobago, and hear what they have to tell all you. Hear what they have to tell all you. The Minister also noted, Minister of Health, he also noted that the healthcare along with crime remains one of the top issues among citizens. Listen to this.
I had the opportunity to meet with CAFA just last week. There was a meeting between the Ministry of Health and CAFA. And as you know, CAFA is a CARICOM body, and the health as a public health issue is still on the agenda.
To other news now. Commissioner of Police, Alyssa Grovero, is now staying tight-lipped about who is applying for firearm user's license, offering no insight into whether men or women have joined the line in recent months. He was equally guarded when asked about the demographic breakdown of applicants being approved. So, let me just say this to start with. I'm going to say this. You see, just how you have a bank account in a bank, and the manager is not obligated, neither the teller, neither the workers, they are not obligated to tell the citizens how much money John Doe have in the bank, or if John Doe or Mary Jane has an account with us. The commissioner is not obligated to tell us 5 men apply and 10 women apply. No, he's not obligated. He is not. If he does say something, that will be a breach of the privacy of the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. If I apply for a firearm, that is my business. That is not my neighbor business. That is not my neighbor business. You know what will be your business? When you jump in my yard 2 o'clock in the morning without my permission, then you will know who business it becomes. Then you will know Saieed have firearm. But until then, the commissioner has no obligation to say how much male or female apply for firearms. Get all the facts straight before you start labeling. So viewers, if you're asking how much male get or how much female apply, you won't get an answer for that. So moving on. Ratiram engaged in lawsuits, farmers and residents. The Minister of Agriculture, Ravi Ratiram, have stated that the geological, environmental and other forms of testing are underway at the Los Iro to determine the exact nature of the disbursements in the area, including shifting of land and escaping gas. Listen to Ravi.
First thing we did is we contacted the Environmental Management Authority. Heritage Kariri has been here to ensure that the area is safe when it comes to the emissions, because there's gas that is being emitted in the area based on the fault. Testing took place this morning, and we are happy that the gas is not above the environmental permissible levels. So it is safe where that is concerned. However, with respect to the soil movements, we still are not certain whether the incident has come to an end or it is still an active site. So until we can, be secure that there is no further risk associated, it is something that we have to monitor and we have to do a thorough assessment of.
So meanwhile, viewers, a representative from the Sustainable Climate Resilience Initiative, Edward Moody, said, in addition to geologists, there is a team working on a vulnerability and a capacity assessment to determine the risk. Listen to Moody.
This piece of land here, which is 106 acres impacted, it is the largest earth movement in Trinidad so far, the largest. So we have to take it from that perspective. What is happening? It is now slipping off from that plane, and it is going, because of the gradient towards the sea, pressure, gravity, it is pulling down. When it hits the shoreline, the pressure exerted downwards is pushing the layers from underneath back up, and it has, this time it reached about 30 feet on the shoreline.
Viewers, today I tried to get on to Moody and it was unsuccessful, but nevertheless, so if Moody is listening, I know he loves to watch my program. Moody, if you are listening, contact me tomorrow, 339-1670. Hopefully we can have an interview with you tomorrow and find out what is taking place in Los Iro. So viewers, it is that time now where I have to say good night. Time just fly when you're enjoying what you're doing. But nevertheless, our run is at 11:30 tomorrow, right here on Synergy, and we'll be back here another night for another live program. We'll talk with Saieed. Until we meet, take care.